Hi guys, welcome back to this retro Manchester City save. My name is Chris, aka Big Will, and for you today we have a transfer roundup so far in the summer transfer window, followed by an away game against Sheffield Wednesday. It is going to be a landmark season this season. We are in the Champions League this campaign, and also in this save, it is going to be the fifth season and my last season doing this. And we will do a special episode at the end of this season where we'll go 5 years further on without me as manager and see what happens to them in that following amount of time. But we've got a long season ahead. Hopefully, we can win a trophy and we'll see how we get on. In terms of our transfers, we've been a little bit steady to be honest. We've not done an awful amount of business in terms of incomings, but in terms of outgoings, we have done quite a bit. So in terms of incomings, we have signed Emil Heskey from Leicester for £13.5 million. Shay Given has come in from Newcastle for £6.5 million, and Andy Cole has come in from RC Lens for £10 million. The reason for the Heskey and Andy Cole signings, Andy Johnson was coming up quite good occasionally, but he wasn't ready for that regular first team role, so we have loaned him out this season. So we needed a couple of solid strikers that could compete with Kyle Court for that first team spot. So Emil Heskey has come in. For me, he's just a legend of the game, isn't he? He was a really big, strong lad up front, and he didn't always score a lot of goals, but he's going to be very useful to have. And as you can see by his physicals, his jumping reach is great, his fitness is great, he's really quick, his stamina's good as well, but his strength is 19. He will bully defences, and it will offer us that something a little bit different up front. I brought Shay Given in largely to act as a starting goalkeeper. Nicky Weaver's done really well for us, but with the extra competitions that we're in this season, we needed that extra uh, quality in goal. So we've got two number ones technically, and if we suffer an injury, we have got that solid returning backup player to go to as well. And Andy Cole, he was quite cheap at £10 million. He is 30. He brings a wealth of experience. Same as Shay Given. Both of them have played in the Champions League in game, so they've got that experience that the squad needs to be able to focus on, and hopefully we can just give good account of ourselves in the Champions League. We might cause one or two shocks, but again, we've got a bit more strength in depth, and with a good amount of strength with Andy Cole, he's got a lot of pace as well. Finishing and composure is very good, and he's a natural finisher, so I thought it was a no-brainer to be able to bring him in. In terms of outgoings, we've done a lot, to be quite honest. Um, Brian Murphy left on a free transfer in the end. We didn't want to keep him. He wasn't really settling in very well in our under 18s. So he went to Burnley's under 21s, as did Ryan Butler. Same scenario as Brian Murphy. He went to Sheffield United. We sold Stephen Carr in the end, got 750,000 for him. We did make a loss on the player, but we weren't going to use him, and we wanted to thin the squad out a little bit so that we maintain that quality throughout the squad. Similar case with Matthew Upson, £1 million deal to Crystal Palace. We weren't using him really last season, so he has gone. Ben Howie went on a free transfer to Grimsby. And as you can see, we have done a lot of business. The thing is, a lot of these are actually just loan deals. Sibierski could be made a permanent. Again, we barely used him last season, so I thought it would make sense to cash in on him. And we could get up to £5 million from that deal if Atletico Pamplona decide to make it permanent. Paddy McCarthy's gone out on loan now. Ben Foster was our backup last season. He was doing okay, but we wanted that extra quality, which is why we brought in Shay Given. And as such, we sold Ben Foster for £6.25 million, but the potential to make £8.5 million altogether. We only signed him for £1 million or £1.5 million, something like that. So we made a really good profit on him in the space of a couple of years. Thomas Flynn came through our youth academy. Again, he wasn't much quality, so he has left for Dunfermline. We've got a series of loans there as well, with Rose McPhee, Michael Carrick, Danny Pugh, David Vaughan, Kevin Doyle, Nicky Shorey, Bradley Wright Phillips, Willow Flood, Lee Croft, Ryan Bridge, Joey Barton, and Glenn Whelan and Ilano all going out on loan. Largely just for first team football, for them to improve. Obviously, they've got to be playing, and the likes of Ilano, he was on the fringes of the first team squad, and it made sense to get him some first team football. Jason Kumas was out on loan last season. He wasn't doing particularly well for us. He didn't get a lot of game time in the Premier League. So in the end, we've sold him permanently for £3.5 million. And again, we've made about £3 million on that deal. So we've made a good profit once again. And there's the Andy Johnson loan, which I mentioned previously. Danny Childs and Dennis Kennedy went out on loan with Ster Ellegard, Liam Mackay left on a free. Jamie Langfield we sold to Bradford for 100,000, and David Pizarro, I was a bit disappointed to let him go. To be honest, he was going to become a good player, and as you can see, he's gone to Lazio, who are quite a strong team in game. Unfortunately, we just could not get a work permit for him. We tried to renew his deal, he couldn't get a work permit, so in the end, we just let him leave on a free transfer. So for this opening game of the season away at Sheffield Wednesday, we have got a team of Shay Given in goal, Ian Hart, Phil Jagielka, Mark Smith and Bakary Sagna at the back, Yaya Toure and Frank Lampard in midfield with Duff, Murphy and Davies in behind Emil Heskey. We have got Andy Cole on the bench. Kyle Court has been okay, but he did pick up an injury in pre-season, so he's just getting back to full fitness really. Bellamy doesn't make the squad either, I've noticed there, which I think is something that needs rectifying, to be honest. He's far too good to be getting left out. I'm going to put him in there instead of Humphreys. Martin Petrov, who we loaned out last season as well, has come into the first team squad, but he suffered a broken ankle in pre-season, so that was a big blow there as well. But here we go for this away game against Sheffield Wednesday. I'm hoping for a positive start. Obviously, with the added pressure of playing in Europe this season, I'm not sure what to expect from us in the league. The board only want us to finish in the top half, which I think, to be quite honest, that is quite doable. But we've got to make sure that we start as we mean to go on and get that winning mentality again like we did last season, which led us all the way into those Champions League spots. It is going to be a tough start though, and Sheffield Wednesday away in game is not an easy game to go to at this level, so hopefully we can get a good start. And Sanya's looking over the top. Heskey couldn't get onto it. Here's Danny Murphy. Looking out wide to Bakary Sagna. Plays it over the top again, looking for Kevin Davis. He nods it back over to Sagna, who volleys it across, and Damien Duff's there. And the header is just over the crossbar. Really positive start from the boys, though. 5 minutes gone, and we've created the opening opportunities in this game. Sullivan with the goal kick here for Sheffield Wednesday. Yaya Toure does well to get onto it. We have made Yaya Toure our vice-captain this season as well. He's shown really good progression in his leadership qualities and teamwork, so I thought we'll recognise that and make him our vice-captain. Michael Brown remains our captain, even though he's not going to be playing a lot, but he's a very good, solid player to have as part of the dressing room anyway. Here's Mayong with the delivery, cleared away by Smith. Murphy does well to clear, but it's only as far as Ribeiro, who strikes from distance, and it's just over the crossbar. And it remains 0-0 as 10 minutes comes and goes. We seem to have made a positive start anyway. We're creating a lot more chances than Sheffield Wednesday. In terms of possession, we're looking strong as well at the moment, and XG is very much in our favour as well. But again, we had games a little bit like it at times last season. We had created a lot of chances, but we just didn't get that conversion rate. And I'm not saying we will with the likes of Heskey up front, but he will certainly open things up for other players in that penalty area, I think. So we'll see how he gets on this season anyway. And Yaya Toure strikes from distance. What a goal from Yaya Toure. Opening day, and he's probably come up with one of the goals of the season there. Strikes it beautifully curled into the top corner, in off the underside of the crossbar. It's 1-0. And that is a brilliant, brilliant start to this game for us. And look at the number of chances we're creating here. It's only 25 minutes in, and we're looking very, very strong. Clearly, the extra experience we have brought into the side is certainly going to benefit us, hopefully. And with the strong season we had last time out, hopefully we can just move forward from that as well. This is Ian Hart into Damien Duff. Lays it back, couldn't quite find Frank Lampard. Lakis to Basir. Now Sonetti. He's the main danger man for Sheffield Wednesday. Here's Ribeiro. Lays it back to Nebet. Now Basir again. Out wide to Gordon. Gordon looking to play it ahead of him here. Instead lays it back to Nebet. Back to Gordon again. Plays it inside to Lakis, who's got Sonetti in support ahead of him. And he plays it into Ribeiro, who got inside. Bakary Sagna is very poor defending from the right back. And it's an equaliser for Sheffield Wednesday. It's 1-1. And like I say, considering the chances we've created, we should be a lot more comfortable in this game than we are. That's their first shot on target. And we've got to be better than that. Here's Yaya Toure with the delivery. Heskey went to attack it. It's cleared away, but only as far as Danny Murphy. Mark Smith now into Frank Lampard. Bakary Sagna hoping to make amends from that error that led to the Sheffield Wednesday goal. Jagielka into Yaya Toure. This is Damien Duff now. Looks to loft it over the top, and Kevin Davies couldn't quite beat Gordon. And Ribeiro's onto it here. There's no pressure on Ribeiro. It's a bit of a dangerous move here, and Sonetti could be in. And Given makes a good save there. And it remains one apiece. He lays it just across the penalty area to Jagielka. Ian Hart, now Danny Murphy. Brilliant ball over the top from Danny Murphy, and Emil Heskey could be in. Emil Heskey! Typical Heskey finish, straight at Sullivan. It remains one apiece. Again, I can't fault the way that we're playing. I mean, we're absolutely dominating the game for the most part, but it's dependent on how many goals you score, of course, and it is 1-1 here at half-time. It's more of the same, really, but we've just got to get that last bit of product, to be honest. I'm really happy with the performance, though. We're doing well. Andy Cole will be coming on in the second half for Heskey. I think it makes sense, to be honest, and hopefully he might be able to turn the tide at some point. Here's Kubian into Mayon, coming down the right hand side for Sheffield Wednesday. Plays it in, and Basir scores at the near post. It's 2-1 to Sheffield Wednesday, completely against the run of the game. Sheffield Wednesday are in front now, and we need to improve here. Otherwise, we're going to be heading for an opening day defeat. Yaya Toure to Mark Smith. Frank Lampard looks over the top. Damien Duff manages to get onto it well here. Damien Duff looking inside the penalty area. Plays it back to Ian Hart, who crosses it. And Yaya Toure now to Murphy. Now Lampard strikes, and it's just over the crossbar. Good positive reply to that goal that they've just scored, but it didn't amount to anything, unfortunately. I think we're going to make that change now. Heskey's not really been in the game at all here. And we're going to bring Andy Cole on. And Kevin Davies has been poor as well. We're going to bring Shawright Phillips on for him. And Damien Duff's had a good game so far, as has Danny Murphy. But I think we're going to bring Craig Bellamy on, who has been outstanding for us in the especially last season. He did so well. We have a set piece here with Yaya Toure from the corner. Looks to whip it to the far post, and Heskey's there. Heskey makes it 2-2. We're just about to bring him off, of course, but he's done his job there. That's a brilliant header. He used his strength to perfection there, and it is 2-2. But Andy Cole is still going to come on for his debut here, and Wright Phillips and Bellamy will also come on in that striking area. So hopefully, with those positive changes, we will be able to push on and get a victory here. But again, judging by the match stats, we should be ahead. But again, it's just a case of conversion. Chance conversion is so important. And Lampard here, Ian Hart, just about kept it away from Sonetti. Lays it back to Shea Given, now Jagielka. Ian Hart again. Poor pass from Hart, and it's played over the top by Romero, but Jagielka was quick to get onto it. Here's Smith now. Smith with support ahead of him if he can find it. He's just being allowed to run a bit, and he's made a big error there, and Sonetti could be in. Sonetti, that is a shocking strike from Sonetti there, and it remains 2-2. We're going to demand a little bit more from the side. I think we should be able to go on and win this, judging by the amount of chances we've created. Damien Duff is struggling. We're going to put Bellamy out wide now, and we're going to take Damien Duff off for Scott Parker, I think. And then we're going to push Yaya Toure. Well, Yaya Toure is struggling as well, actually. Oh, dear. We'll push Frank Lampard further forward. And I think we're going to have to bring Yaya Toure off for Michael Brown as well, just because of fitness concerns. And hopefully we can see this game out as a draw, if not to get a win here. We're going to hopefully demand more again, if it allows me to. But Shawright Phillips has got a free kick. Looks to whip it into the far post, and Smith's there. And it's just into the side netting. It remains 2 apiece. And I've got no faults with this performance, apart from the fact that they've had 2 shots on target and scored them both. Shea Given has not had a solid debut today. Wright Phillips with a corner. Looks to the near post this time. It's cleared by Sonetti. Michael Brown finds Wright Phillips, who's in space, cuts into the penalty area. It's Wright Phillips, and it's a good save from Sullivan to keep it at 2-2. And with keeping that pressure on, we've created so many chances. And Wright Phillips with a corner. Can we make it 3-2 at the end here? Andy Cole's at the far post. It's cleared away by Naybet. Frank Lampard gets onto it. Plays it back to Ian Hart. Now Jagielka. And in the end, the highlight just finishes without an extra opportunity. We're going to demand more for added time. There's 5 minutes added time. Can we get one more chance? Again, in terms of match stats, I can't fault the side, but they've had 2 shots on target, scored them both, and defensively that isn't good enough, to be honest. It's a 2-2 draw, and I mean, yes, we didn't get beat, but they've had 6 shots to our 33 in game, and it's a remarkable game to have not won, to be honest. But I can't fault the boys. We've done very, very well. But more often, as I've just said to the players there, more often than not, if we create that many chances every game, we will win every game. So hopefully we can use that performance as a catalyst and really push ourselves in future games. I'm not entirely sure when we're going to come back for the next episode in terms of fixtures. We are going to be in the Champions League, of course, so that is something that will be a big feature in this save. So I'll see whereabouts we end up, and we can go through any extra transfers that may have happened. I'm not expecting any to, but we can still have a quick look. And depending on how things turn out, we'll come back for a Champions League game, hopefully, depending on when it comes in, and then we'll go from there. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, guys. Please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. All your support is greatly appreciated. Hopefully, we will be back next time for a Champions League game, and I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.